We've all heard that. Think you can, think you can't. Either way, you're right. Like, I think my gym teacher told me that all the time when I was in middle school. Okay, so we're going to talk about how that concept rules your weight loss, rules your long-term capability to keep that weight off. And what that really comes down to is your beliefs in yourself. So we're going to talk about how those beliefs hold you back or propel you forward, okay? And I'm going to give you 2 really powerful techniques that I teach inside of my 16-week transformation program that will begin changing for you the way that you believe in yourself and your own capabilities. So these are actual techniques that the women who are working with me over the course of a 4-month intensive program are incorporating into their daily life in order to create a stronger belief system in themselves. So we're going to talk about why that's important even and how to do that. Okay? Belief. Think you can, think you can't. How it is ruling losing weight, feeling good, long-term results. Okay? So the long-term cycle of most dieters is that we choose a plan, whether that's because somebody else told us to do it, maybe you had a trainer for a little bit, maybe you saw something on Instagram, maybe Susie down the street did it. We choose this plan without consideration for whether we like the plan, whether we want to do it long-term. And then we grin and bear it, right? And at some point life happens, we fall off, and we consider it a failure. We consider, oh, that didn't work. Man, I sucked at that plan. That was really, I don't know what happened there. I totally lost motivation. Just wasn't for me. Eventually, those goals are still inside of us, and they rear their head again, and we're like, man, I want to really lose this weight. I'm really tired of feeling this way. I'm going to try again. And we pick ourselves up, and we pick some random new plan that is also grinning and bear it and struggle. And when we cycle through that long enough, that plan doesn't work, we lose motivation, life happens, we quit, we fall off, wait a few months, get back on, quit, fall off, wait a few months. You do that long enough, and your belief in your own capability to stick to something, to accomplish, to really see and feel the results that you want, your belief in your capability just gone, right? Because you've demonstrated to yourself over and over that it's not going to work for you. And when those beliefs go away, a few other things go away. It's the confidence in yourself. It's feeling deserving of even trying to make those changes again, deserving of taking the time because you've already taken so much time away from your family or your friends or your career and it didn't work. It's feeling tired. It's feeling defeated. It's feeling unmotivated. It's feeling unworthy. So if you've ever felt any of those things because you've tried and failed, then this video is for you. These techniques I am going to show you are for you. Because those feelings of unworthy, defeated, tired, failed, unmotivated are stopping you from taking further action. And I'm going to explain what I mean by that. So let's think about this. I used this analogy in one of my live group coaching calls the other day that happened inside of our program, that if you had a friend who kept saying they were going to do something for you, and it was something really important to you, and for a little while they would do it and they would please you and it was really going well, but then they would always fall off, kind of disappear off the face of the planet and let you down. And then they'd come back and step up and say they're going to do it again, and then they'd let you down again. Now, if that friend did that long enough, where would your trust be in that friend? Eventually, you'd stop even calling on that friend for help. Eventually, you'd say, that friend is really not looking out for me. They're flaky. They're unreliable. I don't trust that person. And that is how you are feeling about you. If you have told yourself over and over that you are going to get up and do this thing, and you keep letting yourself down. So I need you to understand, that's the state of what we are creating when we choose really ridiculous fad diets that we can't continue anyway, right? Or when we like half-ass toe in the water, have a commitment level. Like that kind of commitment level is not going to produce results, and you will only let yourself down eventually. Okay? So disbelief in yourself, disbelief in the process is resistance. Like it doesn't feel good. So if we're talking energetically, which is not a spiritual thing, it's research proven that we have energy that moves throughout our body, just like a cell phone has an energy, a wave, just like a radio has frequencies and waves that we pick up on, okay? So when we are in a state of not believing in ourselves and feeling all of those things, unworthy, unmotivated, defeated, tired, fucking over it, when we are that way, there's resistance. And resistance stops action. Okay? Resistance and that feeling of action stopping actually makes us focus more on those failures. And it's your brain's job, in fact, to try to keep you safe by any means necessary. And when you fail, your brain is trying as hard as possible to hold on, to take pictures and have memories of those moments of failure, so you don't make those mistakes again, right? Your brain is trying to keep you safe. And that's why negative thoughts and focusing on things that didn't go well is so easy, right? How much easier is it to think about things that make you anxious or worried or fearful or crappy shit in the past versus the ridiculous amount of really good things? It's because your brain biologically is wired. Its job is to keep you safe. So this is what we're up against. Your brain is like, don't do that again. It didn't work last time. We felt really bad about ourselves last time. It was really miserable last time. Please don't. Please don't. Okay? And it's your job to go like, whoa, I'm not my brain. My brain is just a program. It's just a computer program based on past experience. And I'm going to step up and believe anyway. And I'm going to give you a few techniques to actually do that today, okay? But I want you to understand that disbelief in yourself stops your capability to take action. Makes us focus more on the failures of our past than the possibility in our future, which creates more feelings of tired, defeated, unmotivated, unworthy. And that simply becomes a cycle, okay? When we feel those things, we focus on them more. Do we understand that? Okay. So let's consider a magical world where a genie comes out and you fully believe in this genie. Cynthia, good morning. Good to see you. So you believe in this genie. And this genie tells you 100%, just follow these things. And I promise, because we all know magic genies deliver, you will have the energy, the body, the confidence that you want. And you believe it. Like 800 billion% you believe it. What kind of action might you take from that perspective? What kind of consistent daily habits would you start to create for yourself? What kind of thoughts would be going through your head? You'd be like, this is amazing. All I have to do is do this and this and this, and I'm going to be super fit. Wow. This genie, wow. All I got to do is this. And you would just right? You would do the things you needed to do because you had 500 million% belief that it was possible. Do we see how if we don't have that energy, that kind of momentum that comes from the internal beliefs, that it would be really difficult to do the necessary things day in and day out and actually enjoy the process, right? So taking action like that comes from having a certain level of certainty, right? That genie gives you total certainty, and man, you take action because your belief system is just up here, right? Okay? So in a scientific way, I want to tell you how beliefs have been demonstrated to be just ridiculously important to outcomes, okay? And this would be in the placebo effect, which I'm guessing a lot of you have heard of. So the placebo effect is in clinical trials for any prescription medication. Part of those trials involve giving that medication as a sugar pill, so it's not real medicine, to certain cohorts, certain groups of people. And then they see, like, how many people reported having symptoms that went away. Who did this actually work for without anybody knowing if they were taking a medication or not? Does anybody know the percentage of cohorts, the percentage of people who report feeling better when they are given a sugar pill in clinical trials? 60%. 60% of people have their symptoms go away because they believe they were given the correct medication. 60%, right? That's insane. That's how powerful it is, y'all. And that's like demonstrated, documented medical research. Okay? There are whole books out there in the medical community about how doctors need to change their bedside manner so they do not focus on the negative of what might happen. And so they are constantly bolstering people's beliefs in the possibility of the medication or the treatment or simply the remission and the getting better on its own. The medical community is completely onto this now. That's how important it is. So the other side of that, let's consider, would be called the nocebo effect. If you are given the correct medication, but you are told this is not going to work, there's no way. Like your case is too far gone. You're too sick. We've never, ever seen this particular disease be in remission like that. There's just no way. I'm sorry. No. If you are told that, even if you are given the correct medications, they have documented it does not work. It does not work. So if you are consistently telling yourself it's not going to work, that's your belief in yourself, and guess what? It is not going to work. Now, of course, there is a 40% of people with that placebo effect that it does work for. But are you going to be the 60% or the 40%? I don't know. And if we can get you in the 60% who believe that it's going to work, and so it does work regardless of what they're taking, how much easier is weight loss going to be for you? So much easier, okay? So, you can't just believe in yourself without proof, though. Right? I'm not suggesting we just close our eyes and go like, past failure has not happened and I believe, right? Like, we don't have a magic genie. And that's why we do need concrete strategy of how to start changing what's happening in here. And that's what we do inside of my transformation program. Because if we don't get this in alignment, man, it doesn't fucking matter what you're doing with your nutrition and your exercise. It's too hard. It's just too hard. Okay? So you can't believe in yourself without proof. It's not just like whatever we expect to happen automatically happens, right? But if you had total proof, you would go for it, right? Total proof and total belief. So what do we do? Let's talk about the actual techniques, and I hope that you have a pen and paper. You write these down and you incorporate these techniques into your life. Because if you are just a collector of information, if you are just Googling what's the next thing, and not implementing, it doesn't matter what I tell you. And that's about you having a commitment level to yourself to move forward in your life, to feel better, to feel healthier, to have more energy. You need to implement, okay? So we ready? These are not difficult techniques. This is not rocket science here, y'all. So, first technique. We need to take this giant, big goal, whatever it is, and chunk it way down. Like baby step down. Like tiny. Okay? So, if the goal is to lose 30 or 40 pounds, then your first job is only to focus on the goal of 2 pounds. Zero focus on, yeah, but I want to be over there. Yeah, but I'm not over there yet. Yeah, but I know I'm going to gain that 2 pounds back. The only focus that you are allowed is on that tiny little baby goal. I want to lose 2 pounds. I'm going to lose 2 pounds. This is going to be so fun when I lose those 2 pounds. I can't wait for those clothes to fit exactly the same because it's 2 pounds. But I can't wait to just lose that 2 pounds. Okay? Get into that state where those goals are so tiny that you prove to yourself that you can. It's a muscle. You have to gradually build back belief in yourself. You have to gradually build back belief in your capabilities, right? Because when it feels easier, when it feels more realistic to your current belief system, the mind has this duplicating effect, and it goes, okay, I lost 2 pounds. I can lose another 2 pounds. I just lost 2, right? We have to get closer to your current belief system in order to change that belief system. You cannot just jump from here to over here. Positive thinking does not work that way. You need strategies to execute the positive thinking. And strategy 1 is just bring that goal way back in to something that feels 100% realistic and manageable. And if it's not even lose 2 pounds, if you don't even believe that's possible, then pick an action step that you know needs to get you to that goal. Maybe it's, I know for sure that I can, for one day, my goal is to eat the things that I know I need to eat. For one day, my goal is to exercise, to move my body. Just prove to yourself for that one day and take that momentum to duplicate action into the next day. Prove to yourself with tiny little baby steps that you are capable. Okay, so that is technique number 1. Chunk that fucking goal down. Technique number 2. Hi, Angelina. Good to see you, girl. Technique number 2. We got to look backwards. We don't like to look into the past a whole lot. That's not the place to live. I don't want you to look at the failures and sit there. We just talked about how that disrupts the belief system. But what I do want you to do is find the times in your life, we all have them, that you have done something amazing, that you have done something challenging or difficult, that you have done something that you weren't quite sure you could do, but you did it anyway. Sometime that you stepped up, whether it's in a career or a relationship or with your body or with parenting or with a hobby, anything. So you should have a lot, right? So we're going to live there. Technique number 2 is to find at least 5 things that you can genuinely, like 100%, you have to feel it. You can 100% say, I'm amazing because I did that. I did that. I need you to find those things. Even if it's like, Angelina, you make some amazing scrapbooking pages. I can't scrapbook. If I scrapbooked, it would look like shit. And you could literally just sit and focus on, I am an amazing fucking scrapbooker. Look at this thing I did. Okay? And if you are amazing there, if you have proven to yourself that you can do this thing that other people think is really hard, then you also can do this. Right? Losing weight, which I don't think is hard, right? It's all our belief system and our perspective of where we're coming from. Okay? So we need to shift that perspective by demonstrating to your brain that you have done hard things before, that you are capable. And every time you feel like you have failed, like you made a poor food decision, or you couldn't get off the couch when you know you should, or you're stuck looking in the mirror going, ugh, how did I let myself get here? You incorporate technique number 3. You pull out that piece of paper from technique number 2. You pull out that piece of paper that has your list of amazing things you have done, ways that you are amazing. And you fucking focus on it. Okay? You choose to only focus on that. You sit there You live there. You close your eyes for a minute. You consider how it felt that one time that you did that one epic thing. That one time that something was hard and you did it anyway. And how incredible were you for doing that? And I don't care if it was when you were like 15 years old, right? Like when I was 7, I won first place on the bars in gymnastics. And I still remember it. And thank you, Karen. She says, you are amazing. You help me so much mentally. That mental is the game, right? And I still focus on that, like, 7 years old. I won a little trophy on the bars, and I felt so good about it. And if every time you were like, God, I suck. I ate all the wrong things, and this is totally not for me, and I totally feel defeated and unmotivated and unworthy. You just close your eyes and focus on, like, when I was 7, I won that trophy, and it was really cool, and it was so hard, but I did it, and I won that thing. You're going to instantly get yourself into a different state of belief about what you are capable of doing. So let's review those techniques again. Technique number 1 is to bring those goals way back into something that feels totally believable, totally doable for you, and then build from there. Prove to yourself that you can. You do need to prove it, but we can't be all the way out here with it. Prove to yourself that you can meet that goal by making the goal way smaller. Technique number 2. Find the things that you have been amazing at in the past. Something that's been challenging or difficult that you were not sure was possible for you, that you did anyway, and that you did well at. Anything from any time period. Write those things down. And technique number 3, when life throws shit at you and your belief in yourself is shaken, you sit down for a minute, even 1 minute. You close your eyes and you focus on how it felt when you did those amazing things from technique number 2. You demonstrate inside of your mind to yourself in that moment that, hey, you've done amazing, challenging things before, and you can do it again, okay? If you think you can or think you can't, that is going to rule your weight loss journey. And I hope that you see why now and understand a few strategies to completely blow that out of the water and start moving forward to shift your perspective and begin changing from in here. We gotta go in here first.